How's that? We have volume. Here we go. Hitting those buttons is an important thing. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps over here at Casino Gaming TV. It's Thursday. This week has flown by. Busy week at work and busy week here on the Craps table. We have a lot going on. I'm wearing my favorite shirt, by the way, new favorite shirt. Look at this. This is the Double Deuce, right? This is from Ian Olson. I think he's going to start a channel soon called Double Deuce Craps. That's kind of cool. So I was over there with Ian last night, went over to his house, and we did his Craps Nation Shooters Tournament qualifier, or not qualifier, the second round for him. So filmed it live at his house. It was kind of cool to hang out and BS for a little bit, and I got this awesome new shirt. So yeah, welcome. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? I want to get right into it because we're doing good, man. This old crossbow thing is working for whatever reason. And I told you yesterday, I had no expectations for this one at all. To me, the Iron Cross is like the ultimate bleed. It's the ultimate like, hey, you're gonna win every single time, with the Iron Cross. And people love the Iron Cross. And I'm like, there's no way I can make an Iron Cross work. Well, so far it's 8-0. It's won $5,000 this week. And there's been no home runs with it. We haven't done $5,000, and one of those was like a $5,000 win. It's been $500. We've just been grinding out our wins. Average roll length here is about 22 rolls, and it's turned out, I think it's won for a couple of reasons, and I think the offensive line is a big part of it, right? Adding the line bet to this Iron Cross was a big move, right? And I think playing it as aggressively as we've been playing it, again, that will bite you sometimes, but if you look at our daily paycheck, and I'll show you the results here in a second, of all the paychecks, the offensive line and this one so far are actually, let's just switch over now. Let me just show it to you. Give me a second here to switch my screen so you can see it. I think it's important to look at these things because as often as we can, because you got to be reminded of what's going on here. So the offensive line went 5-1. It won $3,700. Okay, and the one day that it lost, it only lost because I ran out of time. It didn't even lose that much. It was a pretty stout strategy. The 3-point dolly, 6-0. The come ladder, 5-0, and this one here is 8-0. Okay, they've all got something in common, right? The 3-point dolly specifically wins because it's a home run on the 7, right? You need 1 7 and you win all your money back. It's pretty easy. This one here though has won quite a bit, and we're actually still down, right? You look at our number down here. This is still, what's that? This should be like 14. We're still down. If you look at our overall numbers, we're 75% win, which is really good, right? I won 75% of the time, but we're still upside down because we had some of these major, huge losses in here, right? But this is one of the winners. This one here is clearly crawling to the top. I had zero expectations that this thing was going to win. I thought there's no way an Iron Cross is going to make this thing work because there's too much of a bleed from the field wins. But what we've done with it is a couple of things. Again, the O-line, which we know is a 5-1 champion, right? It's a good one. Adding that to what I think is the right level, right? I think the perfect level for Iron Cross is 3-1, right? This one's more of a 2-1 level. But Waylon has set it up on his channel, the 75-100, where it racks a black on the box numbers, right? So you look at like the line wins 100, 3 box hits wins me 100, a random field hit in here and there, or a line hit on the way out, you're at paycheck in 5 or 6 hits, right? That's a beautiful thing. That's where, like, again, time is, to me, of all the ways you can be exposed, right? The 7's going to get you too much money out there. All that time is the one. The casino relies on time. Think about this. I'm not trying to be pedantic or anything like that, but the casino wins on time. And what I mean by that is this. What's the house edge? Okay. Even on some of the worst bets, right? And we'll just take the line, the box bets, right? The box bets, the 5 and 9, 4.5% house edge, right? That's terrible, right? Even on those bets, what is 4%? Like, it's nothing. You buy in for $1,000, $40, right? That's not a lot of money. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, right? If I said to you, give me $40 and we're gonna have a great time. You and me are gonna we're gonna spend the next 3.5 hours together. I'm gonna tell you stories. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna high five. We're gonna cry. We're gonna have free drinks. I'll give you 5 whiskeys. A whiskey an hour for 5 hours for $40. You'd say, hell yeah, sign me up. I want to hang out with John. I want his whiskey. I want to have a good time. That's the house edge. That's it. They're taking their 4%, 5%. I think the average house edge on all the crap stuff is like 3.5%, whatever, right? That's what they're making their money on. All those lights, all the glitz, all the glam. It's all based on time. It's based on making that $40 or that $35 or that $25 out of every $1,000 that we all spend every time we go. Millions of people, thousands of hours. That's exactly how the casino makes money over time. They don't care about the big win, right? Sure, there's times where we have 5,000 on the table and they rake in 5K. There's times where we take 5K from them. They don't. Those balance out. They're winning over time. And once you realize that, right, and you optimize your gameplay for time and say, here's 5 hits, I'm at paycheck and I'm fucking out. That's good. That's a smart player. If you're going to bankroll or if you're going to paycheck play it, that's a smart player, right? They get you over time. I love that we're racking blacks here. Even at the small level, when you're racking $10, every hit's $10 to the rack. 5 hits, $50 out, right? You bought them for 500, you won $50. It's a miracle. Go home, right? You have to remember that time is your number one ugly enemy, I think. And this strategy works against time. I think the O-line works against time. I think the come ladder, the horsemen, all the ones that win because they have the right unit size and it's a low number of wins required to get you where you got to be. They're not designed for home runs. They're designed to optimize for time with bet size. I think I am learning a lot. Hopefully you're learning a lot watching me roll these things out and what's the safest way to play. Now there are ways to play that are highly volatile. We'll see some today that make more money, no question. But from a standard paycheck style working the system kind of play, these things seem to work really good because of the way they're set up. So hopefully that's the big takeaway. I hope that's your big takeaway. Waylon, dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Let's put this up here so people can see it. I don't know how to do the whole, like Jeff has the little spinny thing for the super chats. I don't know how to do that yet. So it just says that you did it. So thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And we didn't like talk on the phone yet even. We were emailing back and forth and stuff and texting back and forth. We got to get on the phone and chat about this strategy because to me, it's like what you wanted to do with me, what I kind of saw with it, the marriage of that thing worked really well. I think we had the hops in there like I did on Monday. If I'm on the ones, the hops adds a little bit of hot sauce to this thing. So it's a perfect little bit of soup, I think. So I'm super, super happy with it so far. Let's see. Darksider says, time applies if you're playing every hand. What if you are waiting for a specific spot plays? Totally, right? 100%. Time, let's hopefully your thing stays up from it. Let's break that question down because time only counts when you have bets out there, okay? One of the things we talked about with JB, Myopia Movie, who's in the upcoming podcast, is I asked him about like the 5 count. Like, I hate the 5 count, right? And we were talking about playing the pass line or not playing the pass line, and there's rhythm to that, of course, but he reminds me all the time, like those strategies feel like they're winning. Or like, for example, Charlie from DGE, right? You don't go out there until a condition happens. You wait until you see 3 7s, then you go on your bets or whatever the condition that they're looking for is. It seems like you're winning because you're picking your spots, right? In reality, what's happening is you're losing less often because you're not playing most of the time, right? And that's the crux of your question here, Sean, is that time only counts when you're in the game. So you can be there for 4 hours with 4 bets. Your time spent on the table is 2 minutes. It's the time that your bets are exposed. That's the time, right? 100%. Great way to frame that for me. Thanks for having me put that up on screen. That's super cool. All right, let's move ahead. I got all kind of things to say to you. Let's go ahead here and repeat a couple things, right? Tomorrow night, I'm still waiting to hear back from the 2 guys that are next up. If it's not the 2 guys that are next, I think Vince might be next. I got to take a look at the thing, but it might be Sith Lord versus Vince if I don't hear from Scotty or from Galenar. So we'll find out tonight, tomorrow morning, who's going to be the thing. Fireside Craps, again. I've had suggestions for El Toro, which is great. He and I are good friends. I know he would do the show with us for sure. And I could talk to El Toro for hours. He's called me, hey, what's up? How you doing? And all of a sudden 4 hours go by. Like we talk for a long time. He'd be great on the show. I love him. DGE would be a great fireside thing. Who else do you want to hear from? It'd be fun if I can get him on here. He'll never do it. I would pay good American money. I seriously would to get Cashier's Cage on with me. I love him. He hates me, but I love him. I think he's a great dude. I think if he talked to me, he would actually kind of like me. But he gets really angry with me how I throw the chopper, right? And again, I don't throw the chopper the way he does. And here's the reason why. He never taught me. I watch his videos. I'm trying to get what I can from watching him throw. I've never had a lesson or anything from it. I'm watching what I see him do. I'm trying what I can do, and I'm finding what my fingers can work, and I'm throwing it my way. He hates it, which is good. And he comes out on my channel, he blasts me, which is great. I would love to have him on and let him just destroy me on a podcast. Wouldn't it be fun to have him just rip me a new one for an hour and a half and just make me look silly? I would love it. Little eat some crow, Johnny, right? That'd be fun. Anyway, whoever else wants to do it, let me know, man. We'll have I think Nemo wants to do it. I think Nemo would be great. Nemo would be a great fireside guy because he's got an interesting history. We all think of Nemo and as this caricature, right? You think of Nemo as the shark guy and the cute, funny dude, and he's got these crazy strategies, and that's the public persona of him. He's not actually that guy. And he has talked before about his gambling with poker way back and having such a rough time with it that he banned himself from going to the casino to play poker, right? He signed a contract at some casino to not go back. They won't let him in there to play, right? That, I think, is a good, interesting cautionary tale. You talk about, problem gambling, or you have an addiction problem, or whatever it's going to be. He's got a story to tell there, which I think would be interesting. So I'm not trying to out you. You said this on Alfredo's show. That would be, I think, a great fireside craps to talk about that story and how that's changed you, right? It looks like you took that and went craps crazy, right? But I think what you're doing is you're working the math, right? And I want to talk to you about your psyche. So he's invited himself on. I'm going to have him on for sure. I think he's going to be a great talk because he's got that interesting life story. And I think I want to hear about that because if you go and you have a problem and you self-admit you have a problem, I think that's kind of the thing I want to talk about. So I think that'd be a cool one to have. What else? Yeah, the Win Craps competitions next week. Next week's going to be Dark Side week. And I'm not trying to too much teach Dark Side, but I want to look at different options of playing. We have Greg put out the Andre last week, the Andre ladder last week. All the ways the dolly is a way. There's so many ways to play the dolly. Darksider Sean's got some ideas on which odds you lay. I do the thing called 3-point Johnny on the come side, where the 6 and 8 get all the odds, and the 5 and 9 get less, and the 4 and 10 get less. It's a probability odds play. Sean does that on the dark side. He goes, hammer the odds on the 4 and 10, less on the 5 and 9, none on the 6 and 8. I have guys that would claim only put odds on the 6 and 8. So I'm going to run some Win Craps cycles with all those different options on the odds. And Sean, do me a favor, Darksider, tell me what do you do with DCs? Are you doing just one line bet, or you want me to do with a couple of DCs too? Tell me, just chat it to me here, how you want me to run that next week. I'm writing the scripts tonight and over the weekend so I can be ready for next week. So if you want me to do one line with just those kind of odds or a couple of DCs along with it, let me know. And I'll make sure the scripts are written for that. All right. I have mea culpa, man. I screwed up royally yesterday. When we were doing the hard hat thing, right, on the website, on the where you can vote at the YouTube channel on the channel page, right? Alfredo was up he had beaten George by 6 votes up there. It was 41% to whatever it was percent, 6 votes difference. In the live chat where the votes counted 3-1, right? I remember I said if you're voting live, they count more because you're here, right? Well, when I had looked at it last, George was way up. And I thought, okay, George won the live. Unless somebody really overtakes him, it's going to be George's, right? Well, after the show was over, YouTube closes the poll down, but doesn't show me the results. I can't get back to the results. I don't know what the actual final total was. I was going from memory. Well, guess what? My memory was wrong. Somebody sent me a text that corrected the memory, and Alfredo actually was tied with George in the live voting and won on the website voting, which means Alfredo actually is our hard hat winner. So My bad. I got the votes wrong. I spoke too soon, didn't verify, and actually Alfredo wins. So my fault. I'll put George back in the hopper for next month, but Alfredo's got it. Has got it. Big AZ, I'll talk to him today. He will mail Alfredo the hard hat. So sorry about that, Alfredo, for getting it wrong, and sorry to everybody else for misspeaking. I just went with what I saw, and there's no way to go back and look at it because YouTube just smashes the polls, and so I'm really sorry about that. That was a huge misstatement by me, and it doesn't sit well to get it wrong. So I'll own up to my mistake, and I'm sorry about that. But Alfredo, congratulations, man. I think well deserved. So there we go. Let's see. What do we have next? Next is, I think I've got a douchebag thing for you guys next. Yeah, do I have one of those? I do. No. Yeah, this one we talked about with Chiro a little bit. You might be a douchebag if you're a late better. And I think, oh man, this is a thing that bit Chiro once, right? You know, late betters, you know, you're throwing chips out as the dice are being thrown, right? You can get your hand hit. You can get the chips get hit. It's just a big freaking distraction, right? Late betting is bad for everybody. If you're gonna late bet, don't do it with chips. Right? If you have a good rapport with your dealers, which most of us probably do because you're working with them, you're betting for them. If you have a good rapport with the dealers, then you can look at them in the eye and say, I'd like a $25 5, or make my 5 look like 25, and they'll say it's a bet, and they'll put their hand up like this. Hold your money. After the roll's over, you can drop whatever you're dropping to make the bet right. Okay? Or if you were going to regress and say, make that look like 25, and it was at 60, they'll say that's a bet. And after the roll's over, they'll hand you back your change, okay? That's the best way to do it. Catch eye contact, say it. If you forgot, it happens, right? You forget stuff, I know it. I forget stuff all the time. Verbally, with the pointed cue and get confirmation back, the box or the person will say, it's a bet. That's your cue. Do not throw money in. Don't lean in and drop in the field late. That makes you a complete douchebag, right? You're making it all about you, and you're getting in somebody's way and potentially impacting the dice. So get off of that, work with your dealers hands-on. They're mostly really good about the verbal, got you eye contact, book it with the box, and you're good, all right? Don't be a late better, don't be a douchebag and get yourself in the way of a roll. Work with your dealers verbally, please. Some casinos do have no call bets, right? You'll see that on the felt, it'll say no call bets. Even when I see that, if the guy's got the dice and I'm like, oh, I forgot, can I get it? They'll oftentimes just book it, right? And they'll say, they'll chide you for it. Let's get it right next time. But there's times, right? And if you're betting for them, they don't care. They don't care. All right, let's move on. Let's move on and hammer this thing. Let's hammer a monster roll. All right, I want to go, actually we're gonna go to the table view. I'm gonna go into here. Let's do this view. Let me turn I'm going to turn my light on over here, and I want to really get after this one. I gotta crow a little bit about something because I don't get to do this very often. I'm not known as a fantastic shooter. I'm not. I have my days where I throw my early sevens, as you know. You like to make fun of me, but I've had in the last couple of weeks 3 rolls in the 30s, one in the 40s. This is the one that we ended with today. This was today's roll that started yesterday and ends today, right? It was a 40 roller, huge monster roll, right? Here's the sequence of rolls. And again, when I came out with that first 4, nobody knew that it was going to be a monster, right? Nobody knew. All you knew was that John had the dice, and here comes a 4, right? There it is. There's the point of 4. I'll take the dice away. And the question that I got for you is, how do you play this roll? Okay. And again, in hindsight, totally we can play it, right? We can play it all the way and be super aggressive. Oh, it's going to be a 40. It's aggressive, right? I would say to you this. Let's look at the roll the way you'd actually approach the table and see at what point your collections happen. Okay, and I'm going to show you a couple of goofy ways to play here, and see what they would have done, but if I would have stuck to kind of my guns here, right, how it would have worked out. So let's go point of 4. Okay, And let's go simple, right? Let's go skill 66. A little, or actually, yeah, we'll do this the 66. We'll take a couple of popular ways to play. And really, it's not about how much money it makes. It's about your rhythm at the table. So the skill 66, we go out, we got a point of 4, we got a 10, which is nothing for us. I'm gonna go through the lines, right? We get a 10, we get nothing out of that, right? The next roll is a 6, which pays the $21. 21. I'm gonna take this money out of the rack. We don't need the rack money. I'm just gonna put a couple of whites in here just so we can make our moves, right? Drop a buck, press them up, goes to 88, right? Skill 66 goes to 88 bucks. If you're gonna play this thing the way that skill plays it, you're at 88 bucks right now, right? Then we get an 8. Fantastic, it pays 28 bucks. And we bring it down to 44 inside. So it works, right? On this shooter, the skill 66 works. We go from 66 to 88 to 44. And in my rack, I'm gonna bring back 25, 50, 65, 66, $67. There's the $67 that it took me to play the hand, right? Here's my $5 in profit that we know the skill 66 nets you the $5 when you're all said and done. All right, there's $9 there. I'm gonna put this money in the back of the rack. This is my, these slippery ass chips. Wait till I get my new ones. I was showing Ian last night, by the way. I got all these new chips that are on the way that are not slippery. So there's my starting bankroll. Matter of fact, let me get a quarter. Okay, there's $67. That's what we started with. Okay, this right here is our, and actually I'll put the 4 whites back there. Here's our actual profit, a nickel. Okay. Roll 1 is still happening, right? Then we get our 4, we hit our point, and we're done. Okay, puck is off. At this point, the shooter has rolled 5 numbers, right? We got to our base target level. We're showing a little bit of profit. There's the $5 in profit that we have, and now we're on. What do you do now? Like, how do you play your strategy out now? And again, you can play it how you want to. And again, you don't know yet that it's a monster roll. Okay, let's play the next shooter, the next rock here. It's going to be a 6, right? Then we get a 9. 9 pays 15 for 1. What does skill do on this? If you're going to half press this thing, or your first move might be to spread out. Take the $5 you won earlier, and now you get the 4 and 10 for $10. Now you've spread the 64 across, okay? And we have a 10. The next roll's a 10. It pays 18 bucks. Great. Half press. It's at 10. It goes to 15, and all this comes back. And at some point, our rack is going to look pretty nice. Remember, we're in profit. We've got $64, $69 in profit out here. This is all profit because you got your money back. Remember that. Everything out here is actually profit play. So you can always pull this back and be done. All right, there was the 10. Then we have a 9, which again will pay 15 for 1. At $10, a half press makes it look like 15, and 10 comes back. Now you've got 23 bucks in the rack. Okay. Then we have a 4, which also pays 18 bucks. Let's do, we'll play it straight up, 18 bucks, like so. Again, we'll half press from base and bring this back to our rack. And I'm gonna work in that rack to see where we are. After the 4, we get a 5, which again will pay 15 for 1. We'll make it look like 15 bucks, and we'll take $10 back. Then we have a 10. With 15 bucks on the 10, that pays 27, which is awesome, right? We can make that 10 now look like 20, or actually we'll take from 15, the half press, 15 plus 7. Let's just go to 25 with it to make it easy, and we'll bring this back to the rack. Press it up a little bit, okay? Then we have a 9 with 15 on it, pays 21. I'm gonna press it by 2 units. Again, we're just gonna mealy half press here, boom, boom, boom. Like that, the 9 is up. The 4 hits again, 15 pays just like the 10, 27. Take the 15, make it look like a quarter, come back to the rack, And we're just going to be like, hey, this shooter's great. He's doing awesome, right? We get a 3, which does nothing. We get a 5 with 15 pays 21. Okay. Again, make the 5 look like a quarter. I'll bring back 11. This is going to make sense in a minute. Okay, there's the quarter on the 5. And what happens next? We get a 2, which nobody cares about. We hit the point. That pays 15 for 1. And what we'll do is we'll drop a penny, say make it look like 18 bucks. Now we have half pressed everything. Right? We've half pressed the world. Here we are. Now I want you to, now the shooter's done. Whew. Take a breath. Everybody's clapping, high five, and a great roll so far, right? Where are we? 25, 50, 75, 100. Okay, 105. In the rack, right? Let's make it a black chip. Let's make it meaningful, visually meaningful, okay? They won't do this for you, but I'm gonna do it here because I'm a nice dealer. Color me or color, check change or whatever, and they won't ever do it, but there's $100, right? In the first 2 rolls of the shooter, you've made $100. Now, you're in the middle of a monster, but you don't know it. You got 20 more rolls ahead of you that you don't know are coming, okay? What do you do? And that's a legit question. What do you do? You bought in for $500, right? You went 66 inside and it totally freaking worked. It totally worked, right? You're well over. That's 20% right there. There's 20%. That's your over profit. You're way over profit, okay? Do you regress now? Like these bets aren't very high, but you got $100 out here, right? Is this the time, if you're playing conservative style, to pull this back and do it again, to regress it? Now here's the way that would look. Make me look like 64 across, okay? 50, 60, $64, right? There's 64. That brings back to your rack a penny, plus 20, plus 50. Now you got your original money. You got 150 sitting here, 150 plus 20, 174 in your rack. You brought back, you've guaranteed yourself an awesome profit. This is like, I'm going home and I have a winner tonight money, right? Beautiful. Regress back down and do it again. Let's make 64 across happen one more time. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Right? There's a regression. There's a pretty interesting normal regression, right? Not that it's scared, right? But it's a safe play, right? I did a good job, right? I'm locking up profit. I bought him for 500. Son of a bitch. You buy him for $500, 175 is a lot of money, right? You buy him for $500, that you're getting close to 50% profit here, right? That's a miracle. And I can see where everybody says, it's time, regress, get out. Now that I've regressed and I've locked 175 essentially in profit, right? I've locked that up. How aggressively do you play now? Here's the question. You got what you want. Remember I always talked about your 3-phase play, right? You got even in the rack, right? First thing was getting even. The first 2 shots, that early 6 and 8, got us even. Rack is clean. The second set of rolls there got us to beyond our goal. We got to our profit. And we got over goal, right? Matter of fact, the $100 might say that's our actual profit. That's going home. This is our lockup money, right? Our 64 plus our 100, excess, extra awesome winnings. Regress down to lock extra money. How do you play from here, right? Lock in an extra $50 into your profit side. Now I got this excess money and I'm out here. Am I half pressing again or am I being aggressive now? Does your mindset change? Does your mindset change right now and say, well, I've already locked up for sure 150, right? Can I take this to the moon and be okay? If this shooter goes off, right, and I can turn what's out here to 320 across, am I okay with losing that? And being, yep, I got my 150 and I'm good with the 150. Let's play this aggressively and see what happens. And at what point in chat, you tell me, what point do you get squirrely on this? Here we go. Point is going to be a 9 coming out, right? We're going to go to the 9. Is that right? It's 9? Yeah, the point is 9. We roll a 3, which does nothing. We roll an 8. which I need some pinks here. 8 will pay 15 for 1. Okay. What do you do here? Well, you probably take this 8 to 30 bucks, right? You're at 25 right there. Plus 3. Let's drop a couple of bucks here and make it look like 30. Little power press. Let's get some action on this thing. Make that thing look like something. All right. Then we get a 4 down to the end, right? 10 pays 18 bucks. And again, I'll do here, right? We'll just make it look like a quarter. We'll do a simple, even numbered press, buy it for a quarter, get my 3 bucks back. Then we get a 10. We'll do the same thing on the 10. It's going to pay 18 bucks. Make it look like a quarter, and take back that 3. Now we have the 4 and 10 at a quarter, the 8 at 30, right? Next roll's a 9, which again pays 15 for 1, right? And I say make it look like a quarter. So I drop a buck and say make it look like a quarter. My chips are everywhere today. Wow. Easy press for the dealers, and now you're here and the puck is off. Now you've worked your bets up to another new level. Now, I want you to imagine we regressed to get to here, right? These bets that are now at a quarter had quarters on them before, but we regressed them back down. So the impact of these recent hits are lessened because we have pulled them back, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's get off this point. Next point, 3, 7, 11 coming out. We're not on the come out. Point gets set at 6. We roll a 2. This is a great roll right here, right? And we hit the 6. So again, it's going to pay 14 bucks. Right? We're going to go to 20, 25. We'll drop our bucks down here, make it look like 30 bucks. Make it look like 30. Make it even for the dealers. Boom, boom, boom. That was the point. The puck is off. Set a point of 8. Hit the point immediately, 35 bucks. 25, 35 bucks. Again, be aggressive here, right? We're trying to shoot the freaking moon because I'm happy with my 150. I'm shooting the moon here to see what happens. Okay, cool. They hit the point. It's off. 7, 3. 10 gets set. We're not working the come out. We hit the 8 for 70 bucks. 50, 70. Probably collecting here, right? Press it up, collect it. We can take that back to the house. That's fine. We'll take 50, 70 bucks back. What's next? A 6, a 6, and a 7. So the 6 hits. We'll do the same thing as the 8. 35 bucks. Make it look like 60. It hits for 70 bucks. And we're out, right? We'll take that in to here. Booyah. 7 comes. It all goes away. What was out here? 75. There's 100. There's 200. So you burn 205 on that last go for it thing with some kind of a collection schedule. And you earn an extra, whatever, 100, 25, an extra 150 bucks. That's fantastic, right? There's 150. I'll make this look like color for us. So our total profit here, actually I can take those extra greens we had from before. So we walk away with 322 bucks, right, on that monster roll. 40 roller, right, playing 64 across, half pressing for a while, right? And again, slow rolling it until you get to your goal, half press style. You walk with 300 bucks. Okay, that's a way to play that thing. And that's the way that most people, I think, probably play it, which is get to a level that you're comfortable with, lock up the profit that you're comfortable with, regress back down, and just play it out, right? And you play it out, and you win 300 and change. Okay, that's a way to attack a roll. If you want to be more aggressive with it, and again, you can take the same sort of tack, right? The same idea, which is get me even in this hand, right? And then let me roll from there. What if we did something like a squeeze play? Okay, let's do the squeeze play. Let's go with 220 inside. And this is, again, I'm not going nuts. This is a popular strategy. Casino Quest puts this out. Let's play the same hand. The same hand. We get a 4 for the point. Nobody cares. We get a 10 for the second roll. Nobody cares. We get a 6 That pays 70 bucks. 50, 70 bucks. What do? Squeeze play. Looks like 35 on the ends. Like that, we get an 8, which pays 70 bucks. And we come down. The squeeze play brings everything down. And now you get to decide, what are you going to do here, right? Well, first things first, the 220 that you started with goes back in the rack. Rack is clean. As I say, the rack is clean. What do I have left to play with? I have 100, 25, 140 bucks. Makes sense, $270 wins. What do you do with the 140? What are you doing here with the 140? Well, I'm even, right? If I were gonna play something like tier pressure, which I'm gonna show you now, I need 130 to get out for tier pressure. Okay, so where the skill 66 netted us $5, but 66 in risk, here I've got 10 bucks. I had triple the risk, essentially, okay? But let's go tier pressure with the 130 across. And how that works out is this. It's gonna be 30 on the 6 and 8. It's gonna be 20 on the 5 and the 9, and it's gonna be 15 on the 4 and the 10. And tier pressure works by hard pressing, looking for 4 hits and pulling down. Let's look at the difference here in a way that this attacks the same roll. All right, so we got our 4. That closes the point, right? But we get paid on that. 15 bucks pays $27. Okay, what tier pressure does? Full press. Boom. It all goes up because we're going to press full up to 4 times, or something hits twice. Puck is off. Puck comes to the 6, right? 6 is the next point. Yeah, 9 hits, right? 20 pays 28. We're going to make it look like 40. Okay, 9 goes to 40 bucks. We have a 10. 10 gets paid $27. Just like the 4, it goes to 40. That's the third hit. We've hit the 4, the 9, and the 10. Now the 9 repeats. 56 bucks. 55, 56 bucks. Now, with tier pressure, what we do is we look at what did we just win. Okay, you can play it a couple of ways. You can take the 4 and 10 down and play just the insides, which is what I normally do with this thing, right? So I'm gonna make the inside now look like 220. I'm gonna take all my winnings. That's a quarter. And make these look like 70. There's a quarter here. The 60 bucks. I'm gonna bring back 25, 40 bucks to the rack. So we go up a level. Let's get these all in here, right? So there we are. We went from outside to inside. That was the hit on the 9 that did that, the 10 did that, right? Or the 9 did that. Now we're on the roll a 10, nothing happens. Roll a 9, that pays 70 bucks. And what we do here is we're gonna press the inside 66. So 50, 65, $66 pressure on the inside. Again, hammer all these numbers in here. This takes me a minute to deal it out, so I apologize. We're gonna go with 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. So we're gonna be at 65 on the outside. We're gonna be at 78 on the 6 and 8. These become quarters. 78 bucks here. It all pays 84 at the end. There we go, 78 bucks. Booyah. Okay, that was the hit on the, which one was that? That was the 9, right? Now we get the 4, which is nothing, and the 5 hits, okay? 50 pays 70. I'm sorry, it pays $91, $91. 75, 91 bucks. 91 bucks on that. So you squeeze to the inside, press them up, come back down. That was the hit on the 5, so we're gonna bring all this back. And now tier pressure goes up a level. This is a very aggressive strategy here, but it goes up a level. Everything goes out here like this. It's gonna be 40 on the 5 and 9, 60 on the 6 and 8, 25 on the 4 and 10. I need to get another I'll take it out of here. We'll do the greens, reds in there. And what comes back to my rack after that move? There's 100, 10, 135. I'll get a red for that one there. We're gonna bring back $140 to the rack. After that little press right there. Now here's the question. Looking at my rack, I'll ask myself the exact same question here. By playing this rhythm, again, on a monster roll that we don't know is happening, I'm looking at my rack already. As John, I'm going, oh, we just did something. We're at 250 across now. Here's $150. I'm locking my one. I'm already here. I'm locked now. I'm locked. My profit is locked. A lot earlier than the other guy did, right? I have excess in the front, and I have 250 out here that I'm playing with. Right? We're loving life right now. That's pretty cool. All right, that was the hit on the 5 that did that for us, right? Now we go to the 10. I think I'm on the right number here. The 10 pays 50. And we're going to do the whole thing again. We stack it up. 10 pays 50. We stack it up. The 9 pays at 40, 56. We'll drop the $4, make it look like 100. Right? We go G money on that 9. It goes to $100. Then we have the 4, which pays 50 and gets stacked up. Then we have a 3, which who cares? Then we have the 5, which just like the 9, we drop 4. Make it 100. And again, this feels like, God, he's going crazy. John's going nuts. Too many presses. Too many presses. Well, here's where we are. Actually, I probably lied about that, right? There's the 10, the 4, and the 9 all hit. The 4th hit was the 5. So technically speaking, I'm done here, right? That 5 should have been the hit that brings it down. I'm here. What do? We come inside. I started at 250. I'm gonna make the inside look like 330. And again, I know this is wickedly aggressive, but I want you to watch this. Here's a quarter, 4 quarters for that. There's 90. Make this look like quarters. That's 90, and now 330 inside is level up the insides. We're gonna bring back another $150 in profit. Now we're on the, that was the 5, right? So now the 2 hits, and then the 6 hits, that's the point. So the 6 hits for $90, 105, 105. I'm gonna drop a nickel and press 110. Okay, so everything goes to black chips. Watch what happens here. These all go to blacks. Again, we're doing the skill 66, basically, but from our pressed bets. 120, 120. Puck is off. We're coming out. Coming out to a 9. Don't get hit on the 9. We get the 3. Sucks. The 8 wins. 120 pays 125, 140. And we did it. We went 4 hits, inside press, inside hit, and we come down. And from 250, watch what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. 575, 580 comes back off the table there. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. We can take these things up another level or stay at 250. We can actually put the whole $500 back out there and be super aggressive right now with it. Up to you as the player. But we went from 150 or 130 to 250 and brought back $500, right? Tier pressure always brings back what you started with plus a double shot. Yeah? Pocket the $300, right? Pocket the $300 and go back out there again at 250. That's what I would do. Right back out there again at 250 and rock the exact same thing, okay? Where are we at here? We're on that was the 9? That was the 8. That was the 8. Let's go back out there again at 250. Same thing, right? 25. Right there. 3, 3, 2, 2. There we are. 250 across. Still at a point of 9. We grab a 10. Same pattern, right? $50. Full press. 9. We're gonna drop $4. That'll be the point, by the way. It's $100 with a dollar change. New point is gonna be, we go 3, 7, 11, 6 is the point. The 6 hits for $70. We've hit the 10, we've hit the 9, now we hit the 6. The 6 goes to 120 with 10 change. That's the point. We get a new point of 8, and now the 8 hits for, again, $70. That's our fourth hit. That's our fourth hit. The 6, the 8, the 9, we're out. Okay. Squeeze it inside. Again, we can go to 330 inside. I know this is not the most exciting thing, but I want you to see kind of the way my brain works on this kind of stuff. So we're going to go here, 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 there. I need another $90. Okay, 330 inside, and again, we're bringing back $150. Another 160 comes to the rack. So you see how we're tearing this thing up? And again, it's the same roll, right? The thing is, I'm not half pressing, right? I'm collecting every fourth roll, I collect a bunch, right? Every sixth roll, I collect a little bit more. And here we are, right? We're out. That was the point of 8. Last roll is gonna burn us. We're gonna come out here to a point of 10, right? We're gonna hit the 8. So 90 pays 105. 105, we drop 5. 110 pressure, so it goes to 440 inside. Are we gonna make any money here? Are we gonna hit this last one or not? I forget. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the 8. Then we hit a 6, which is great. That pays 140. We'll do 150 for 10 to make that easy. 150 for 10. Everything comes down. Now we're gonna double the bets and go 500 across. We're gonna get aggressive here in this last hit. We're gonna put the whole 500 out there and rock it. Bring all this back. Bring the 50 back. We're gonna set up 500 across, and I can tell you right now before setting the bets up, that was the 6. We know it's gonna be 500 across. The 6 is gonna come. The 7 is gonna come. We're gonna burn the $500 we're about to put out here. I'm just gonna not put the bets up. Am I okay with losing that $500? Yes. Why? I locked up 150 way back, right? As I'm playing this thing out, we brought in another 500, 600, 50. There's 700, 725, plus what we had before. So 5, 6, 700, $875 plus this coin here, right? $500 difference, right? By choosing a strategy that is inherently more aggressive, but also inherently more volatile, right? Way more volatile to play it that way. Why? Because you're not collecting until roll 6 versus collecting a little bit every single time, right? There's another way to approach it. Now, and again, the questions are the same every time we do this. And I can do this with another strategy as well. The question never stops though. At what point, when you have your money here, your bankroll is clean, and you've got, let's say, 150 in profit, right? Is that your trigger to say, yes, I'm done, right? I don't care what happens anymore. I got my 150, right? Are you okay with having $500 out here and 150 here and losing the 500? I know a lot of you say, no way, man, that's fucking stupid. What kind of moron would leave $500 on the felt and walk with a $150 profit? Why didn't you regress that down? Well, the reason why I don't regress it down, me personally, the 150 was more than my goal. I exceeded my win goal for the day. I'm happy with that, right? In the middle of a monster, you don't know it, obviously. This is money that you're trying to hit some kind of a home run with, right? I took a shot, made an extra $700 by taking the shot, okay? It worked out this time. It doesn't always work out to where that thing happens, right? But if you're gonna do the sort of slow roll, slow grind, yeah, it made $300, that's great. On a 40 roller, you should be making at least $1,000. At least $1,000. We started from 64, right? A tiny amount, so it's hard to build steam. But on a 40 roller, depending on your strategy, you should be making bank, right? If I did the Philly special here, which we could do, I'm out of time, but we could do the Philly special and make probably 1,000 or more because the 4 and 10 both flipped in this one, right? That's probably $2,000 win if you're playing Philly special here. If you're playing come bets here, look at all the repeaters in there. Look at the repeaters, and we'll just go through it. I'm gonna walk over here because I gotta get off the table for a minute, but let me come back to this view and we'll just talk through it. Look at the repeaters that are on the screen. If you're come betting, let's take a look here. The 10 gets a come bet, the 6 and the 8 are come bets, right? So you have 3 come bets out there. The 4 happens, so what? The 6 comes out as a point, the 9, the 10 pays. You put a come bet out there, it goes to the 9, the 4 pays, right? The 10's off, the 9 pays, and the 4 pays again. So look at that. Look at those come bets that are repeating with all the odds. This kind of roll where we're hitting all the repeat numbers would have made bank if you were come betting with max odds, right? 3-point Johnny style. You would have made money here too on that kind of roll. A 40 roller with that roll, again, we're out of time. Otherwise I'd roll it out or I'd put the bets up there. Take these numbers. Take this exact set of numbers that are right here on screen. I'll put them in the description of the video for you. Run your strategy against these numbers. And again, it's a monster that you don't see coming. You never know a monster's coming. You only know that the 4 got set as the first point. What point do you say, I'm good with my lock and I'm going to play it out? At what point do you say, I'm good with my lock, I made some more, regress and lock more? Build it up, regress and lock more, build it up, regress and lock more. That's how Alfredo, that's how skill plays, right? This is how I play it. Once I'm locked, right, I'm in a strategy that has a better chance of growth, a more growth-minded strategy. But that's got to be up to you. I just want you to see that there are times in this game where you have gotten even, you have gotten ahead, and how do you lock your rack to stay ahead? And then you make the call. At what point do I not care? What point do you not care? I don't care when I'm at my goal plus. Then who cares, right? If I happen to burn the 500, it is what it is. I gave it the shot. You're never going to make $5,000 if you're only betting $60. You're going to have to go in there and hammer it sometimes. So there it is. All right, that's it. I am done, guys. Haven't read one chat. Let's see here. Let's do the PCs. Anything in the PCs that I have to care about? Darksider, for testing scripts, I'd run the DP test separate from the DC strategy. But my question though is that, right? Do you want me to run a straight up line as one test and then a straight up line with how many DCs? You want 1 or 2? That's my question. I'm gonna probably run a 3-point dolly most of the time with this test on next week. Excuse me. So it's about, do we want one DP and 2 DCs or 1 DP and 1 DC? There's the raging debate. How many DCs are the right number? So you can Discord me if you want to, because we're going to end the show here. Just let me know what you want, and I'll make sure I write the script that way for us. We get the right visual on that. Is that cool? I think that's it. There's no other questions, no other PCs. I don't know what you guys talked about today. Hopefully it was a good chat out there. I wonder sometimes, like, I'm over here talking to myself and you guys are talking about, rainbows and unicorns and who knows what else in the chat. I never know what's happening. So hope you had a good time this morning hanging out with me, and get back to work. It's time, man. It's 9 o'clock for me. It's probably, time to get back to work for those of you on the East Coast, right? So, y'all have a great day. Again, bless y'all. Thanks for being here. Thanks. If you're a member, thank you for that. The channel is going to start growing, man. We got plans. I'm talking to Vimeo a little bit about getting the app built for the smart TV app is already under construction. So we got things happening here. So I appreciate so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being family. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.